Okay.
Good morning, one and all. Welcome to a frosty September. That's right. Are too loud? Now they're going to hear me?
Yeah. Don't move it.
Don't move it. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
We enjoyed the pictures this morning from the PhotoSig group, I'm sure. They were great. They have a bunch of photo shoots that are set up for this fall. I think they're going to be taking some, but they did take a bunch of pictures and show them at the Garden Club recently. So they're very active in the community, and I'm sure you've seen their pictures hanging both in this lodge, and they will be hanging in the Meadowview Lodge shortly. And they are looking forward to some community displays around the area as well. I guess next we'll talk about trivia. I give you a little bit of trivia each month. And this is interesting trivia. In 1994, President Bill Clinton made September Classical Music Month. So those of you that listened to Boomer Radio this morning while we were looking at the pictures, I guess that wasn't quite classical, right? Okay, next we'll give you a summary of what we're going to be talking about today. The financial report, the membership, computer club matters, training. We'll bring up Ralph in a minute. And then we have a featured speaker. Next is our financial report. And I'm sure you will have no complaints. We're still solvent. We appreciate your support. And we'll be presenting the allocation of budget at our next meeting in October. And we'll have that all documented. We'll probably not show this slide, we'll show the budget, and then I'll ask for a motion from the floor to approve the budget, even though we're working on that budget now. We start July through July, as you're aware. Okay, our membership is 1455 and growing. If you recall, we were just at 1,400 last month, so we picked up 55. Must be their computers failed again. We will be closed on Monday, and just wanted you to be aware of that we're honoring Labor Day, and we'll be closed on Monday. And one last point of note, that we would always like to have your thoughts or your ideas on what you might like to hear at these meetings in the future. So if you could give us a heads up on what you'd like to hear about. And it may not be specifically about the minuses and pluses in a computer. It may be something that where computers are integrated into a system that benefits us all, such as a few years ago we had a presentation about how computers were being used in the hospital setting. Obviously computers are used in the educational setting, and we may look at that as an opportunity at some time in the future. Anyway, we'll appreciate your input. We have 2 new donut duty folks. That way you can have donuts today. Volunteerism is still alive and well. Okay, now we have a surprise. Ken has been very instrumental in the computer club, as well as the radio station, and so many other things. I call him a subject matter expert in computers, radio stations, and motorcycle management. He also has enjoyed 48 great years with Karen. I don't know whether I congratulate Ken on that or Karen on that. But Ken joined the club in 2003, and he's been very active ever since. In fact, he was the first person that I really came in contact with on the repair side. I didn't know anything when I moved into the community, and Ken hooked up my computer and printer. So it's great to have him act as a continuity vehicle for the club, and we thank you, Ken. Okay, next up, let's have Ralph come up and talk a little bit about what's going on.
Thanks, Dave. Well, we do have 4 classes for September. Hooray, hooray. Finally, our instructors are thinking maybe it's getting cool enough. I'm not going to be outside messing around. I'll have some classes, but we're still looking for more instructors. Very simple. You know, all of you know a lot about certain subjects, but if you'd be interested in trying to do a training class, get a hold of me, and we'll try to set you up and we'll help you out. It's really simple. I want to remind you too that Jim Nelson will be sending out reminders prior to the classes that I'm going to be talking about coming up in September. Next Wednesday, we're going to have a class on basic email. Now, if you got a tablet, you got a computer, you got a phone, you're probably messing around with email. So think about coming to this email class, because Bill's going to be talking about different emails that are available, some things you can do with your email. It'll be beneficial. Even if you think you're a real guru at email, you're going to learn something. And then the 19th, we're going to have a basic Windows 10 class. We're still having computers fail. Some of the Vistas now are starting to die, and people are getting new computers, and you're getting Windows 10, and you think, oh, that's a lot different than what I'm used to. I can't find anything. Well, you come to this class, I'll help you find a few things. May not, be real extent, but it's going to get you started in Windows 10. That's basically what it's for, is new users for Windows 10. And then on the 21st, we're going to have a class on Microsoft Excel. Practically everybody that has any type of an Excel program has some problems, some questions, and Will's going to go into pretty extensively. I'm pretty sure he can answer about any question you have regarding Excel. And then at the end of the month, on the 28th, we're going to have a program on Google Docs. You know what? I don't know anything about Google Docs. Well, as a matter of fact, I don't know anything about much. But really, this is something new. And it says, this is what Bruce said. This is a word processing program application that can be downloaded on a Windows, Android phone, an iPhone, and iPad machine. So if you got any of those, which I don't have, I still got my flip phone. Don't have a pad, can't afford it or whatever. But anyway, this is something new. We haven't offered this program before, so consider that. And like I say, you're going to get an email on Saturday prior to these classes coming out, so you should get one today about Bill's program coming up next Wednesday. And as a reminder, please think about teaching a class, because we do need more teachers. We only got about 9 instructors, and I keep telling you, they're getting tired. They've been doing it for years and years, and we need more. We need some new blood coming in with some classes. So get a hold of me, or get a hold of any of the officers. But we'll try to help you out and get some new classes going. Thanks.
Okay, we'll hit the highlights of Community Matters. We have a board workshop meeting on September 13th, and that's in the Birch Room, Fountain View down at the other end. And the new resident orientation is September 14th, so if we have any new residents here that have not yet gone to an orientation, that might be worthy of your consideration. And then we have another board meeting. The first one's a workshop, the second one's the normal board meeting. And please note that if you're going to make comment at the board meetings, you've got a 3-minute time window and a total of 20 minutes for them to effectively manage their meeting time. As far as Community Matters, we have coming up next Wednesday the volunteer appreciation activities. We have a candidate forum. We have 10 candidates running? 10 candidates running for the board this year. And so meet your new board members, or at least meet all of them so you can select who you want and vote. And I believe the ballots are going in the mail out to you with postage return, and they need to be returned by the 16th. So that means you need to mail them a few days before that. And then the community survey, which you can scroll to the next, you've all got this in your lifestyle magazine, and feel free to fill it out. I know most of you have probably tasted a Culver's custard ice cream. Well, you get one free if you turn the survey. The last thing I'll mention, which is not up here, and that is, I'm mentioning it today, and you may not remember until next meeting, but next meeting will be too late. The Woodchucks have the Ask the Woodchucks in October, and the date that you need to sign up for that is October 2nd, which is prior to our next meeting. So I'm mentioning it today in case you want that piece of furniture evaluated or fixed or whatever by the Woodchucks. Okay. And hopefully,
usually fills up in 2 hours.
Yes, and John passes on the good information that it fills up in 2 hours. So, and I think they sign up at the CAM desk. Is that right, or is that right? Either one of the CAM desks. Okay. They have a certain number of slots allowed for their work, and so I wanted to mention that to you in case you have that squeaky chair or that table that needs a little bit of adjustment. Today we're talking about Skype, and we have 2 folks from Microsoft in Schaumburg over to visit with us today on Skype and try to bring us up to date. I first downloaded Skype onto my computer before Microsoft purchased them, and have made a lot of modifications. And since that time, I've talked to my son, and he said, since Microsoft purchased and made a lot of improvements to Skype, they're now using Skype as their primary teleconferencing device in his corporation. So there's a lot of big things happening with Skype, and without further ado, I'll be happy to introduce Paula and Adriana, and they are respectively Community Development Specialist and Product Advisor. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to who's first, Paula?
Thank you very much for inviting us to speak to your group today. Has anybody here been out to our store in Schaumburg? People? Glad you made the trip. Let's try. I don't want to make that terrible noise. Can you hear me now?
No.
Okay. How's that? Can you hear me? Okay, good. So, as you know, our store is in the Woodfield Mall, and we not only sell Microsoft products, we also offer personal trainings for people who want to learn more about any of our software or hardware. We're fortunate today that Adriana is able to be here today. She's one of our primary teachers. She has a wealth of knowledge. She does a lot of our classes for the AARP workshops that we do on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. And you're always welcome to come to those. They're free of charge. They're from 9 to 10 every Tuesday and Thursday.
Speak up.
Okay. I'm wrestling with this thing here. So
Just speak up louder.
So you don't have to pay for the class. You just show up. And today I've also brought some coupons for free personal trainings. If before you leave today, if you'd like one, let me know. We are open 7 days a week except for Christmas and Easter Sunday. So anytime you need to pop in, you're more than welcome. How many here have actually used Skype? Oh, how many here like Skype? Almost the same number of hands. Well, hopefully by the end of today, you're gonna love Skype, and if you still have a lot of questions about how to use it, feel free to make a personal training appointment, either on our website or by calling the store, and come on in and learn more. So, yay, I went to the right, okay. So, I'm just gonna go through a slide presentation to show you how to, download Skype and the basic features of Skype. And Adriana's here to answer specific questions, and I encourage you to ask because, this was gonna be a vacation day for her, so as I said, we're very fortunate that she's here today. So, Skype if you have a Windows 10 computer with Office 365 on it, Skype is included in that. So if you haven't used it yet, you might want to look and see in your menu that you have it. You can also download it on earlier versions of Windows if you don't have it on there. And you can use your own cell phone number with your Skype number if you prefer, or get a whole new number through Skype. It doesn't work like a landline, like you can't use it for 911 or anything, but it's just as convenient. With Skype, you can not only make a phone call, you can do a video conference or a video phone call, just like you can with FaceTime. You can leave a message for someone on Skype. You can share photos, documents, whatever via Skype. And what we're really excited about this year is that you can now also have translated conversations on Skype in different languages. And we're going to talk about that later. So there's so many different ways that you can use Skype to make a call. So you can call somebody else on their Skype from your Skype. You can call somebody's mobile or landline from your Skype, and they can call your Skype from their mobile or landline. There we go. You can have a group call for up to 25 people at a time, so you can call your family at the holidays or have a business conference call. You can share your Skype number with your friends and family so that they can reach you on that number if you're not, you have no cell service somewhere, but you can access your Skype. You can call international numbers. There is a charge applied for international calls, but it is not really expensive at all. And you can forward your calls to Skype if you're going to be away from home. As I said, it's not a replacement for your phone because you can't use it for emergency calls, but it sure is convenient. So, as you can see from the photo there, this person is having a video chat with a friend. So you can see someone on your Skype if they want to be seen. And you can do that either with a group or one-on-one. So it's really fun when you have, like, you're having a family gathering and one member is not there. You can always include them on Skype. So you can send video messages that people can then pick up later and watch and listen to. You can instant message just as you would, typing a text message during a Skype call. How's that? Is that better? Yay! Okay. Okay, so as I said, you can do instant message or text message. You can leave a voice message. It's almost like voicemail. And then a group me, which is what a lot of companies use when they want to have informal chats among their associates. But you can do that as well with any people who want to be in your group, like a family member or whatever. And you can also use some of the cute emojis and stuff that they've added this year. Sharing on Skype is very easy. You can send a file, you can send a photograph or a video by just kind of dropping it into Skype or attaching a URL that people can open. You can share your screen with someone. You can share your screen with a group. We do that a lot at work when I'm having a conference call with other stores around the country. We can all see the same PowerPoint presentation through group screen sharing. And you can also share contacts with other people. So translate means that you can talk to family members in Europe who don't speak English. I have a lot of those. And your conversation can be translated while you're speaking English. And they will hear your conversation in their language. So I just wanted to put together some screenshots of how you download Skype and what some of the features are. If anybody wants this presentation later, I can either get your email address while we're here, or maybe the club can provide it for us and we can send it out to anybody who would like this, and then you can work on it at your own pace.
We'll be happy to, if you provide that to us, we'll provide that to everyone.
Okay, that sounds good. This is also something if you wanted to make a personal training appointment at the store, we could help you download it on your computer and your phone, get it up and ready so that you can just start using it. So where do you find Skype? If you have a Windows 10 computer, you would open your Windows icon in the lower left-hand corner of your computer, and then you can see all of your programs. If you have it on a tile or in the list, you simply find Skype and click on it. Then you would sign in using your Microsoft account. If you don't have a Microsoft account, you could set one up fairly easily just using your email address. And that's also something that we can assist you with at the store. I'm not sure if they work on that here at your computer club as well. Create an account using your phone number and a password of your choice, or using your email and a password. And then your name, of course. And it's easy to go back and forth between these screens if you want to change your mind, like, oh, I didn't want to use that email address, I'm going to use a different one. You can always go back. We ask that you include your birth date so that no one under 13 is opening a Skype account. Of course, we're not carding everybody, so hopefully, 9-year-olds aren't opening their own Skype account. We never know. How do you verify yourself? Well, Skype will send you a text message verification code that you then enter here so that only you have access to your Skype account. Once you're in Skype, you can start looking for friends and family who are on Skype as well. And Skype will search your address book and find people with similar names or emails that are your contacts, and then you can add them to your Skype contact list. And then once you input your phone number, your contacts who are on Skype can find you and also add you to their Skype contact list. So once you're all set up, Skype will send you a hello message, and when you receive that, you will know that you entered everything correctly. And then we have a link to our privacy policies there, which we urge everybody to use. And then if you see at the top, a green check mark will show that you are online so that your Skype contacts will see that you're online as well. So if someone else is in Skype and sees that you're online and sends you an instant message, it's because they knew that you were already live. When Skype is not open, that will not show a green check mark. So then if they send you a message, it will come to you as either a missed call or a message that goes directly to your email. So the Skype bot will introduce itself to you. The bot learns as you use Skype, so that it kind of creates shortcuts for you. So it learns the things that you do most often, so it kind of makes it easier for you to do those. It also is going to alert you to any updates that are created for Skype and kind of give you a little tutorial about those. And again, here you can also access the privacy policy and terms of service. The bot will also help you if you want to remove a contact or block anybody from this page.
So how do we do some messaging? So you're on your page, this is my page, and you can just start typing a message to, I have selected myself. I'm calling myself on Skype from one account to another, from my work account to my personal account. And so I'm typing myself a message. So at the bottom there, you just simply start typing like you would, you know, a text message or a letter or an email. And you can see on the left side, my contacts are listed, and because my personal account does not have any personal information about myself other than my name and email address, I can't see any personal information. So that allows you to have some control over how much other people can see about you. If you don't want to put a picture up, you don't have to put a picture up. If you don't want to have a lot of information about your location, if you're only using a Skype phone number and not a personal phone number, you can be as, you know, transparent or as secure as you want to be. So if I'm not online, which I'm not because I'm not green, there's no green check mark, then I will get this message from my business account as a message to my email. So what if I wanted to call? So let's go back one. So there's an icon at the top right-hand corner that looks like a telephone receiver. I would click on there to use the phone option. And so I'm now calling my contact. And if that person is on Skype, they can pick up and we can have a voice conversation. If not, I can leave a voice message. At the bottom, you see some options. The microphone is live in this picture here, which means that if somebody answers, they will hear my voice when I talk. If there's a slash through that microphone, they will not hear my voice. And you can mute a call if you want to hear what someone's saying, but you don't want them to hear your background noise. In conference calls, that's always a good idea. And how you make that turn off is simply by clicking on it. You can see that there's a slash through the camera icon, which means that the person I'm calling is not going to see me, they're just going to hear my voice. If I clicked on that and removed the slash, they would be able to see me. Okay.
Pointer.
Okay. Okay, cool. So that's the camera icon, that's the microphone icon. This red button, if I wanted to hang up, I would simply click on there. And then there's a button that has 3 dots. So that means that if you click on that button, you have more options. So I clicked on that button, and these are the options that I'm seeing. So I can choose the option to share my screen. So if I have a photograph I want to show someone, or a document that I made that I want to show someone, or a PowerPoint, I can click on there, and the other person will be able to see it. Dial pad allows me to make a call like I would with my cell phone by just dialing a number. And that's useful if you're trying to call someone who's not a Skype contact already, but who might be, and they're just not in your contacts list yet. Also, someone can use that feature to call you if you're not one of their Skype contacts. You can add people to this call that you're currently on. And if you click on there, it'll give you your list of contacts or the dial pad. You can place this call on hold so that, you know, for whatever reason you need to do that. And then you can change the settings on your device here. Your Skype settings, not your device settings. So there's a toolbar at the top of the Skype page. This allows you to open a new chat window. So, and I do this frequently at work, where I'll have 2 Skype conversations going on at the same time via text. They're not phone calls. And you can do this, like if I'm in a meeting, on one Skype call, and there's, voice conversation going on, but somebody else messages me with a question, I can have two of these windows open and be answering one person with text while I'm on the other meeting. So these dots over here will open the keypad if you wanted to dial someone who's not already in your contacts list. Here you can search for people who are not in your contacts list. You can search my name or phone number. And this icon allows you to open your address book to look for your contacts. So I mentioned you can call other landlines from your Skype, or you can make overseas calls. So to do that, you want to have a balance here, either from your credit card or from a prepaid card, so that you can actually place the call that you want to do. You can also have a subscription where it's constantly refillable, like your tollway pass. And then here's the keypad where you can call the overseas number or the landline. We talked about video calling, and this I'm going to mention in a few minutes. So you would click on the video icon, the video camera icon, which turns on your computer camera. If you don't have a camera on your computer, this feature won't work. But if you do, it will. So the person you're calling can accept your call by clicking on their camera icon, and now you can see each other. Sometimes that's a little bit of a shock. I don't like to see myself on Skype. There'll be a little bitty, picture of yourself on your screen, so be aware. But that's always a lot of fun if you're calling family. Like, my family does not live close to each other, so on holidays we do like to do this. So your messages, my messages here say that somebody tried to get in touch with me, but my content was not supported. And that's because messages are set to off here. I'll show you how to set that on, because that's one of the things you'll have to do when you set up your Skype. So if I want to share anything on my Skype, how do I do that? So I can simply type a URL here that's a link to something I want to send somebody that I found on the web. And click the blue arrow, and it sends to the person's message box right there, and they can then click on it and open it. So you can also download Skype on your phone if you have a smartphone. Does anybody have Skype on their smartphone yet? So it's very convenient because people can reach you at any time then. And with a smartphone, you can still do the video chatting as well as the text or voice, and you can still make your landline calls and your overseas calls. So the way you use it on your phone is to download the version that's applicable to your phone. So if you look in your phone's Google Play for your Android and in the Apple Store for your Apple phone, you can also download it on your Kindle. It's free to download, and then you would just sign in with the same Skype account that you have already set up, and voila, you're in your Skype. You would just want to enable it to search and add your contacts, because some of us have different contacts on our phone than we have on our computer, and Skype will find the contacts that are in your phone and add them, and then now they'll be available on any version of Skype that you open. You want to make sure you enable your camera and voice so that people can hear and see you, and now you're all set to go. So translators are cool. This is new, and we're very excited about it. You can call someone who does not speak your language, and Skype will translate into their language so that they hear it in their own language. And when they speak to you, Skype will translate it back into English so that you can understand what they're saying. For the voice translator, currently we only have 9 languages available. But with text translator, there are up to 50 languages available. You can't use it with more than a one-to-one call right now for text. And the more you use it, the more accurate it becomes because the bot is learning while you're using it. So I have a URL there. I'm not sure if we can open that. If you click on it, will it open? Okay. I just wanted to show you how that works. Oh, we don't have sound.
Yes. You live in Central Mexico? Sí. ¿Te encuentras en Estados Unidos de América? Yes. You live in the capital city? Sí. ¿Estás cerca de Seattle? We are very close to Seattle. Are you in Mexico City? Sí. ¿Estás en Tacoma? Yes. Very good guess. Gracias.
Thank you.
Do you like living in Mexico City?
¿Te gusta vivir en la Ciudad de México?
Aquí está bonito.
Here is very nice.
What do you do for fun?
¿Qué haces para divertirte?
Voy a las playas de México.
I'm going to the beaches of Mexico.
I like to swim.
Me gusta nadar.
A mí también.
Me too.
Where in the world do you wish to travel?
¿A dónde en el mundo te gustaría viajar?
A Rusia.
To Russia.
¿Tú?
And you?
Everywhere. Sería increíble algún día verte en México.
It would be amazing to see you someday in Mexico.
I would really like to visit you sometime.
Me gustaría mucho visitarte algún día.
A mí también.
Me too.
So this video is showing how classrooms are using Skype. They're using it as a field trip. This is a classroom to classroom experience. I don't know if you want to stop that video from
What's
streaming.
up, guys? I'm Carly Kloss, and today I'm going to show you how you can build your very own website with Wix. It's easy.
Hi guys, this is Sean Michael from Getting Bit, and today I'm going to be doing a trial run and kind of playing around a bit.
Here we go. So as I was saying, classrooms are using Skype, and it's really exciting. We've done some field trips at our store. We have a theater space in our store, and we've had school groups come, and we would call via Skype to a national park or to another classroom, and it's really kind of fun. And it's something, if anybody in this room wants to participate in something like that, schools are always looking for someone who's an expert at something to do a Skype field trip. So if you're someone who travels, or you have some kind of hobby that's really interesting, or you garden, or it doesn't even matter what it is, you just list yourself on the Skype in the classroom list as someone who can provide a field trip, and that's really a lot of fun for kids. I can show you how to do that at the store too. So how do you set up Translator under Skype? So at the bottom right-hand corner of your messaging page, which is your opening page, you will see, remember how I showed you, I always said unsupported. So down here you want to turn this instant message on. So if you click on there, this dialog box will open, and you should move this toggle switch from off to on. And now your messages will be supported. And then you choose your language. So if your language is English, the bot will remember that, so that if you So. That's tech support here.
We've got maintenance in the background trying to get you more sound out. You should be using this mic. This one sounds great.
No.
I don't care. It's so you can hear it.
Okay.
Here we go. Hi. I'll watch my consonants so I don't make that terrible noise. Okay, so then when you place a call to someone who is in your contacts list, and you would tell your Skype account what language your contacts speak, it will translate for you. And the more you use it, the more accurate it will become. We recommend that you use headphones for this so that you have the most accurate translation experience. So not too hard, really, if you just take your time to go through these steps, and like I said, this presentation will be available for you if you want to go screen by screen and just go through it. You can always make an appointment with the store to work on this too as a personal training. And then you can start using it on your phone, on your computer. It's really, really a lot of fun. What I'm also going to do is supply our class list to Dave here, and he can share that out to everybody if you wanted to come in for our free classes. But if you wanted to make an appointment for personal training, this is our specific store's website here. So you go to microsoftstore.com Schaumburg, and then just make an appointment. Here's our contact information as well, and Adriana is going to be available for questions about Skype, and she has answers to every question, doesn't matter what you ask, so make sure that you ask. Adriana? Yes. This is Adriana Carrillo. We call her our personal training whisperer. Because she can do it all.
First off, let's give a great hand to Paula. That was a great presentation. So, since you've been watching around with the mic, do we have any specific questions in regards to Skype?
I have one.
Sure.
Is there going to be any possibility that they'll go like Google did and have free local phone calls?
We don't know about that anytime in the future, maybe. Actually, we do recommend people send stuff up to what is called the Microsoft feedback. They do listen to what our customers want, and they've been doing a really good job of it. Even in regards to like Windows 10, anything like that, send it up to the Microsoft feedback. They do listen, and they will probably put new stuff into updates that are going to be coming up. As for the free in regards to the local calling for Skype, hopefully maybe we'll see that in the future if enough people send that into the feedback.
I have a question. Early in the presentation, she talked about setting up a Skype account and allowing it to access your friends and family and your contact list. When you do that, does Skype send an email, unsolicited email invitation to everyone in my contact list?
Only if you want it to. So what it's going to do, it's going to, first of all, it's going to go through your contact list. It's going to find the people who already have a Skype account, and you'll actually see a little blue bubble pop up next to that person's name. If they don't have a Skype account and they want you to invite them, you have to go through systematically and check on the people that you want to add Skype to their devices. And that's when it will send out an email that you have authorized to go to them, asking them to download the Skype app either on their PC, tablet, cell phone, whatever device they can, and then they'll go ahead and do that.
I just wanted to make sure I'm thinking about this right. Even though we refer to it as a phone call through Skype, that conversation is going through, it's not going through phone lines like AT&T or Verizon, so that if you had your smartphone next to your computer while you're having a conversation, you could get a phone call on your cell phone, independent of this device.
Yes, as long as you have a Skype account and the other person has the Skype account on their PC, their tablet, whatever device they're using, video calls through Skype application are always free. Notice what I'm saying, through the Skype application. Now, if you're doing it through the landline, if you're calling their landline and you don't have a Skype account, that's when it'll tell you if you want to add Skype credits or if you want to go ahead and pay for a rate at that time. But if it's video through Skype application, no matter what device, it will always be free. And you will have your cell phone, if it's a totally different device, different number, you can have that accessible to you.
And then, because we're having this conversation on our computer.
Yes.
Through the
application.
So, is it possible, and so we always think we're having conversations with friends, but pretty soon we're going to have business conversations, right? How easy is it to record that and record conversations without the other person knowing? And are we going to be getting solicitations back from businesses coming up?
The only way that I would think the solicitation would come through the Skype applications is if they do like a robot search. Now, I'm not going to say no. Sometimes you will get somebody who's going to want you to add them as a Skype friend. But again, that is at a discretion of the individual to go ahead and add them or not, or block them. Okay? If you see a number or a person that you don't recognize on there, that you don't even know who they are, I don't even bother to open them or check the profile, because usually when you do create the Skype account, you have to create a detailed profile so that when people are searching for you and they want to make sure they have the right individual, it's going to have the information on the contact information, okay, the detail. Now, if you don't know that person, I don't even bother to open up. I just block them right off the back.
Will this system work just as well with Apple?
Yes.
You mentioned that with Windows 10, if you have Office 365, you get Skype. What if you don't have Windows 365 or Office 365?
You're just going to go to the Skype website, which is skype.com, and download it. It's really easy.
Is it a part of Windows 10 now?
Yes, it is a part of Windows 10.
You have Windows 10, you have.
Yes. There's a gentleman back there who was trying to ask a question. He didn't get a chance.
Yeah, Ken, this mic's not working.
I'll speak.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
My wife is a piano teacher. She uses Skype to do lessons.
Yes.
Often when she's about to do a lesson, she's doing a lesson with somebody, we get all these people that want to piggyback on the lesson. She gets requests to join in.
Okay.
Why is that happening at this time?
So while she's doing a lesson, she's getting people who want to piggyback in on the lesson?
Yeah, followers that want to.
So those are her followers that are in part of it, or no?
We don't know these people.
Really? Really? And this is a group one that you're doing?
No, it's just individual one.
That one I have not heard of. I've never heard of that. We're gonna have to see what the heck is going on with that, because I've never heard of anybody being able to go into a private video chat and piggyback in the back of it.
Well, piggyback's wrong. They're requesting to be a part.
Exactly. The only way they're supposed to be, now they're requesting what it is, it's probably because they're seeing that in her detailed contact information, they're seeing that that is what she's doing at the time. And like Paula said, when they're online, it'll have a check saying that it's green. Now what she can do during those sessions, I would recommend, is to go ahead and change the status that she can only be seen by the people she has in her contact, that she is online at that current moment. So that when other people who are not in her contact list cannot see she's online, and they won't be able to request during the time she's doing that video.
Okay, I got two more areas. Okay. I was curious, is there an advantage in doing a Skype call versus a normal call?
The only advantage, you know what, the big advantage is that it is worldwide. As long as you're doing app to app, it is free worldwide. So that's the advantage.
Okay, but if you're just calling a friend down the street, there's no real advantage.
Yeah, no, besides seeing yourself and it, you know.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, besides that, no, I meant, yeah, if worldwide, if it's, you know, state to state, you won't have to increment any charges like that, like on your cell phone or your landline phone. If it's video to video, it can be anywhere at their discretion. If your, you know, grandchildren are on a camping trip and they're able to get Skype, you can actually see what they're doing if they want you to, and stuff like that. It's really cool and it's really fun because I had a customer come in one time and he was buying calling cards because his wife was in England for a month. And he kept buying calling cards and calling cards and calling cards to call her until I told him that if he downloaded Skype on his PC, and she did, they could have video to video conferencing with no charge. And it was better for them because the Wi-Fi connection was stronger than her cell phone connection was over there. They didn't have to worry about roaming fees. And that's another thing, you don't have to worry about roaming fees or anything like that.
Got it.
Okay.
Works.
Question.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Final one. Because of the fact she's getting piano lessons, I don't want the screen to look at her face. We want it to look down at the piano keys. I've used Spike with an external microphone. Will it work with an external microphone and external video camera at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
So just make sure it's pointing down at her computer screen. So I meant to her piano where she's doing, if you want that to project the video, it should work fine with the
Okay.
camera.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, thank you.
I've loaded Skype on several computers, and each time you get garbage piggyback programs coming onto your computer when the Skype is being downloaded. Is there any cure for that? Because I have to go into my programs and look for the date that I downloaded and erase all those unwanted programs that piggyback onto the Skype program.
And you're going directly to Skype.com to download it, correct?
That's what I thought.
Usually when you go to Skype.com, there shouldn't be any other programs piggybacked off of that because we haven't authorized it. I would check to make sure, because usually the only time I've ever heard of that is like if you're doing like Google Chrome. Sometimes if you're downloading a toolbar, it'll have a little area that you don't see that's really small, and it's checked for you to download all these additional software. The only thing I can recommend is that to just make sure it's Skype.com when you're downloading it. And
Enet cuts in and takes over.
Really?
Yes.
That sounds like something else is going on with the PC.
Yeah, let's try it in labs.
I have a question about the mechanism. Skype works over the internet, right?
Yes.
So you have to have an internet connection.
Yes.
So if you're in Europe, you may find that you cannot get an internet connection.
Yeah, Europe is slower, but that's why you can always use the like your cell phone connection to the data. Now it'll use that data just to transmit it.
Yeah, so data connection in Europe, for example, on Verizon, costs minimally $10 a day.
I know people who had it in India, and yeah, the Wi-Fi in Europe is very slow, but they were able to do it, and it might not be too video friendly. It may just be the voice.
Yeah, I guess the point only is that there are costs associated with having internet connections.
Yeah.
And the availability of internet connections varies from location.
Yeah, you're right. But there's also, Skype is putting in a lot more free Wi-Fi towers. They're connecting to other Wi-Fi areas in the world and in the United States in regards to that. So it becomes more accessible and easier to connect to those Wi-Fi towers without any charge for the Skype calls.
What bandwidth is needed for Skype?
Right now, it's just your everyday standard bandwidth right now. There is nothing really major when it comes to regards to the Skype.
When this was several years ago, when I was in Australia, I contacted Mary and Mary contacted me. I went to a McDonald's in Australia, and it was just great. You know, I could call her up, and we had a set time, of course, because of the hourly time. But I thought that was great. Halfway around the world, and you can still contact each other from McDonald's.
Yeah, I mean, most of those places, like McDonald's, is prevalent when it comes to the Wi-Fi. Panera Bread is prevalent when it comes to their Wi-Fi. Again, like Skype is connecting more and more. They're buying up cell towers in the United States, again, worldwide. So it's making that, even in the most remote parts of the world, it's making it easier to get to those Skype calls. Right back there is a ceremony.
How does Skype differ from FaceTime?
I'm not sure. You know, yeah, it's just a lot more, especially when it comes to like the group calling. In particular, if you have like Skype for Business. Skype for Business, you can actually do, from what we know of, is over 140 people for a group call. In regards to the sharing of the files and sharing of the photos, it's a more broader, more robust program than the FaceTime. Any more?
How many people can you send a broadcast to from a home user?
25.
25.
Yeah.
And that's a conference call, or that's a?
That's a conference call.
Okay, and can you use Skype for text? Because she mentioned that.
Yes.
Right, so it would be an alternative to.
Definitely. It'll be an alternative, like in sending an email if you want to send a text, because you're able to do bigger, any size file. So, you know, text messages and certain emails limit the size of the files you can do for photographs, for videos, and with Skype, it doesn't limit that, so you're able to send bigger, bigger files for videos. I mean, some of our standard files are so big now because cameras have gotten so much better when it comes to the pixelation on those. And so those files have gotten a lot bigger. So a lot of times we can't send them on email or text, but Skype, you can send them through.
How does that fit into the deal where they're going to stop using instant messaging? Is that over with now, instant messaging on computers, as far as Microsoft is concerned?
Yeah, as far as it is concerned in that aspect, that's why you have Skype, and Skype is there for it. I mean, of course, on the social networks and the social medias like Twitter and all this other, LinkedIn and Facebook, those are individual. But yeah, in regards to the instant messaging, yeah, that's pretty much.
So instant messaging is gone, and
being taken over by Skype.
Taken over by Beetle. Okay.
One more question.
Sure.
And that is, do you have to have a Microsoft account before Skype will download, or is it function independent of that?
You can download it independently, but before you can use it, you need a Microsoft account. Okay? And again, a Microsoft account is completely free. You can use any email, Comcast, Huawei, whatever you like email that you have, you can use that email to create a Microsoft account and just find a password. Now, the one thing I do recommend I tell everybody that a lot of people are unaware of, make sure as a secondary way to access your Microsoft account in case you forget your password, put in a cell phone number that you know you maintain all the time, and put in an email address, an alternate email address that you know you're going to have all the time. So in case you ever forget your Microsoft account, you're not lost at trying to get the password without having those two forms of recovery. Okay? So a lot of people put their house phone, so that means you would have to be home if you need to reset your password to get that call with the verification code to reset your password.
Cell phones.
Yes, cell phones.
Any other questions? Well, let's.
Gentleman right here.
You mentioned that you can use any email account to register a computer or to register.
Microsoft account, yes.
The problem is if you do that, let's say you use a Gmail account. When you go to the store to use it, they're going to ask you for your password. If you have an Outlook account, they don't. You go right in. We've been recommending to our people that you get an Outlook account. If you're getting a new Microsoft 10 computer, get an Outlook account, and they'll stop aggravating you.
Sure, you can do that. That's completely fine because the Outlook account is your Microsoft account. The Outlook account is going to join up your Microsoft account. If you do Xbox, because there's a lot of people getting into Xbox now, it'll be your Xbox account. It's also your Office account, your OneDrive account. It's the same account across the board. Any other questions?
What was that? No? Well, let's thank our speakers.
Was there one more?
Was there one more question that I missed? No, they were stretching their arms.
Okay.
So I think that,
If you got some questions we didn't answer, come on.
Yep. You got time.
and also, don't forget your free personal training cards over here.